Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome. See, Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The calamity failed, he says, but I will not. And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone. When Zolf got through reading that journal, he just snapped. Started smashing up the monument till I tried to stop him. Zolf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me, said he was going home. Zolf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put her back together. The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health. The city brought the shards to the wilds. Now the kid's gonna bring them back. The less said about Jawson Bog, the better. That place will eat your mind.
Alrighty, so Jawson Bog. This is probably the coolest level in the thing, in the whole game. Yeah, this one's my favorite. So, get into it.
After Zolf's little episode, Kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back. Well, I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? Zolf put us in a real bind. Hurt the Bastion bad. But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the core's medicine. Shame the only place to fill that prescription is out here in the wilds. This place is intoxicating. Don't know where he's gone. Might be gone for good for all I know. Wherever he is. Somewhere I've never been. Somewhere I never want to go. There, welcome him with open arms. Better survivor? No, ma'am. It's a lonesome ghost of a gas fella. Say to a kid who's seen too much. I'm Zolf of Ura. pleased to make your acquaintance. Now the kid sees something stranger still. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds peckers, lunkheads, wallflowers, pincushions, vine apples, swamp weeds, ankle gaiters. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild. Kid sets foot inside one of Ceylondia's famous watering holes. He has the nerve to flash the shield he stole. He's a petty thief. The security's just gonna have to see. Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. It's so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world's alright, snoozing there on a rock in the sky. He wakes up. I'm just fooling. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. He sees what's left of Piff, the bull. The gods, they're all undone. He sees what's left of his lifelong friend. His friend, he's come undone too. He sees what's left undone. Near lost my train of thought just thinking about that place. The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole. Bootlickers dig their nasty thorns into his heels. Ever heard of a lung blossom? It's bigger than the stories say. The breath on that thing, like a scumbag sprung a leak. Hard to get a sure footing in the bog. The bog might have swallowed him whole.
Damn it.
Near lost my train of thought just thinking about that place. The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole. Disgusting things.
Nonsense.
Ever heard of a lung blossom? It's bigger than the stories say. say one whiff of lung blossom can make you lose your mind. Well, a kid prunes it down to size somehow. Mother only knows what happened in the bog. Kid never much cared to speak of it.
That fight's a lot harder with idols on.
A shard is like a poor man's core, but beggars can't be choosers. That's it. A few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place. The shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places. Stay absinthe is like drinking a cool breeze. Just don't go spitting needles everywhere. Nothing makes a gun so dangerous as a keen eye. Taught him a little something from my days on the front. He ain't all that shy. Ain't always much to say. The city tried to use the shards to stake out the wilds. So much for that plan. Rothless Lagoon. Even the brushers stopped going there. Didn't like being eaten.
This is gonna be rough. I have a feeling that...
Ankle gators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Rothless Lagoon. Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here. All kinds of beasts we don't know up from down, still looking about. Only the city's brushers knew their way around the lagoon. Even the brushers learned to fear this place. They used to think that ankle gators were extinct. Well, they ain't. One of them's been living in the tall grass. They called her Queen Anne. These beasts, they don't like company. The lagoon's got plenty of other dangers, of course. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. Time for pecker hunting, but the kid can't resist. Know what smells worse than an ankle gator's breath? The stinkweed.
She's also gonna
Can't fight Queen Anne without the proper tools. Brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same. Sharp sticks make Queen Anne nervous, so she backs off a bit. Most of those peckers are smart enough to stay out of Queen Anne's way. Kid's got a mean throwing arm. Those pin cushions been living off the ankle gator scraps. Queen Anne can't fit down some of these narrow paths. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. One bad step in that tall grass and it's Queen Anne's lunch. He holds his ground. Seems the Queen's running out of options. Still no sign of the shard. closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Kid's gotta make a run for it. That old gator's right on his tail. Bad idea to walk in the gator grass. Scared a bunch of peckers out of hiding. Seems even stinkweeds know to stay away from the queen. Gators don't much care for their young. That's why there ain't many around. Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? You use a kid as bait. Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go. The shard's sitting in plain view. They say if you run across an ankle gator, you better keep running. He's got it, and now to finish her off. She's starting to get annoyed. Hope Queen Anne don't mind us borrowing from her treasury.
That sounds like a good way to get sniped by something, and then this time's up.
All that trouble for a single shard, but you know what? It was worth it. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances.
Shade, this is the one. Yeah.
They said Queen Anne was just a folktale. Now there's living proof she ain't. That gator's a crazy gal. So's the gal who promised to look after her. Any brusher's pike can cut to the bone, but that one can cut through it. Fires like hot pineapple chowder on a cold day. Brings back memories. The Bastion's a place of peace, but we can hold our own if we have to. Sometimes a brusher's bike just ain't enough. That's what the carbine's for. The next shard should be farther out there in the wilds.
It's really annoying that it's set up for the right.
Know how Caelondia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaine.
No, it was set up right.
If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen right here. The army's triggers once had the place on lockdown. Kid might as well pick up where they left off. Blam! Just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check. Point Lemaine seen better days for sure, but it ain't done. Whole place shudders in a fit. The grand rail of Point Lemaine, not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as it can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks. Grand rails all grown over with things the calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager to take back their turf. Don't let so much as one of those things slip by. Luckheads settled in like they own the place. Not much wiggle room up there near the rail. Lunkheads ain't known for their grace. Takes fancy footwork on the rail, what with wallflowers coughing fungus everywhere. but now it's split open like a rotten pineapple. Of course, the Grand Rail's seen much more fighting in bygone times. The Ura-Ceylondian War, 50 years ago, doomed to happen again. It was right here that Zulf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up.
Just what the force be from this thing? Really?
Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. That was bad. The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard. It's still got one good run in store for it. All the rotten wood there on the rails turned it into swampweed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While shooting a genuine registered army carbine? While choking on swampweed? While peckers trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun. But then at last, it's the end of the line. He'll be picking swampweed out of those boots for days. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him. Not just another wallflower, pincushion-minded. At first, he thinks it's Zulf. Turns out he's wrong. This is for you, says the man. Then wham. When the kid comes to, the man's long gone. But something else is there. Well, what's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it? It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city. Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get. The note says it plain. Zia, Go east to learn the truth about the calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zolf. Zolf's messenger was one of his people. Wondered just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zolf told him. A sip of lunkhead liqueur will toughen you up. Too bad it's like drinking a saddlebag. Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking. That'll spice things up next time he gets in trouble. The Armada sure could have used one of these back in the day. The shards are getting harder to find. That's Trigger Hill, where the Army's elite became the finest marksmen in the land. Point Lemaine's Grand Rail once brought the riches of the wild right to our doorstep.
This one should be not bad.
Caelandia's army only took the best, and the best of them trained on Trigger Hill. The Triggers believed they were nothing without their rifles. Nothing beats the feel of shooting a Caelandian army carbine. Sometimes you had to take care to steady your shot. The Triggers had clearance to modify their guns however they chose. Some felt the course was too easy, so the Triggers spiced things up a bit. Kid blows through that course like it was nothing.
Yeah, as fast as that thing,
The Caelandian army would have recruited him in a flash. No risk of Culford Cauldron ever erupting again, they used to say. Guess they were wrong. Not everything blew up in the calamity. Why, Culford Cauldron here blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago. They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock. If you wanted to survive something like that, you had to learn to adapt. So in a way, the beasts of the wilds, they're all survivors too. It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Colford Cauldron. That learning led to some interesting inventions. The raw power of the world fell right into our hands. Playing with the cauldron's fires became an addiction. Can't fault our people for that natural curiosity now, can you? Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here. But we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. The unforgiving scent of sulfurous dirt. Taste the air so hot it sticks to your lungs. All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot. Never thought we'd find so much life in all that ash. Kept on sifting through the cauldron's secrets anyway. The more ash we swept aside, the more life we found. Place as inhospitable as they come. But still we pressed on. After all, when we look down inside Colford Cauldron, Look down through all the smoke and flames. We saw in there the heart of the world, the heart now laid bare by the calamity. We had to have it. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Bog. Kid's thinking he's got to trek all the way back around the cauldron. Luckily, the cauldron cooked up a little shortcut for him. Sure, it ain't the most convenient path. Biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side. Well, it ain't polite to stare. Where there's one stink eye, there's always more. Cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. Kid don't shed the tears for him though. With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron from the city. But all the fires died out. There's nothing left of it. He comes back looking like the inside of a chimney. The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again. Seems the gods recommended this place to all their friends. We're all a little short on friends these days, so that's a welcome sight. They said the wild could never be tamed, if only they could see us now. The culture, a still life of old unwanted keepsakes.
They probably should.
A bench of fairy dust, and it's all set. That thing wasn't always meant to be a weapon, but there's no denying it now.
So, 6,500 to fully upgrade.
We spotted a pecker carrying a shard to Mount Zan. Grady Incinerator's where we sent off all our trash to be burned or be eaten by the wild.
This one's not bad from what I remember.
Welcome to Grady Incinerator, home of the hottest wings east of Ceylondia. In all seriousness, the incinerator was a dump, and it had a problem with peckers. Blasted things would swoop in and spread trash all around, until we started using fire. We couldn't just torch them all at once. We had to use restraint. Wasn't any other way to teach those peckers some respect.
Just need a whole bunch of
Who knows why we fought so hard to defend our own trash?
I probably can do that one if I.
Think the gods are gonna help?
That one I might be able to. It's like, I don't want to say it's 2, but it might be 5. sets. Because it's 5, isn't it? Oh, it's 3. Okay. Okay. So. Alright. the scumbag or whatever they're called.
There's a hint of pride in his eye when he gets back, and more than a hint in mine. Good thing I didn't throw away the manual.
It's what, 1500? And it's... I don't know. Okay, never mind. That's hard. Okay, let's try...
Always plenty there for smashing. Work in the yard did have its risks.
It's 27 seconds. I literally did it like 33 the first time. I know I've done it, but man, it's rough. Maybe one more. Oh, I should just wait. Because the galleon mortar one is really straightforward.
Not much left of Mount Zan nowadays. It's like a cross between a zoo and a prison break.
Yeah, the galleon mortar one is like 2 tries tops.
Can't rightly call Mount Zan the mountain anymore.
Ah. There's like a million.
There's no more mountains now. There's no place left for the beasts of the wild to go. Those beasts been hoarding all the valuables they could find. We only found that little layer because they found themselves a little shard. Good thing for those beasts the Calamity saved leftovers. The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own. But they ain't yet prepared for any company. They even dragged their children into this. Without a doubt, the situation stinks. Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean. Besides, we have to take back what's ours. It's a delicate situation. What the city left behind, those beasts took for themselves. Takes a lot of convincing, and our mortars have to do the talking. Look at it this way, it's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our bastion is everybody's gain, not just ours. Unfortunately, there's no explaining that to a simple beast. Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place. They've rounded up their survivors, just like we have. They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have. Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have. We just really need their shard. Kid got it fair and square. That's the way. He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll all be better off once the Bastion is complete. The monument's getting better. Zolf sure did a number on it, though. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection. Take my word for it. Don't ever drop one of those. Suppose it's true a little song can put things in perspective. Fixed that thing right up, didn't we? Made these goings-on a little livelier. It wasn't fixed, it was unbroken. Makes time to sample spirits from my personal supply. Leachade's so sour it'll perk you right up when you're feeling low. Just a couple shards left. The quarry's gotta have one, right? Boundless Bay used to be a weapons test and dry dock. Ain't never been this dry, though. Celandia's armada was a glorious sight, and our ship's mortars were unstoppable. At Boundless Bay, our Navy put those mortars through a rigorous inspection. Had to use squirts to simulate explosive impact on the surface of the sea. Choosing targets with those mortars was one of the trickiest parts. See the fireworks over Boundless Bay. Good thing we got to that mortar before the beasts of the wild learned how to use it. dynasty to the families of the city, all reunited. Looks like our little science project is all set. And that's everything. Mother knows he's paid his dues in that forge. The secret to how we built Caelondia so tall and proud lies in Bastion Quarry. Imagine everything you'd need to build a city like Caelondia. It takes hard work and planning, and it also takes Bastion Quarry. The Ura tunnels beneath the quarry must have softened the blow from the calamity. We bought the whole place from the Ura on the cheap. Same goes for its natives, Rattletails. Rattletails ain't the worst of it either, but more about that in a little bit. The quarry came with a lifetime supply of windbags. Windbags smaller than the naked eye can see are nesting in those rocks. But there's even more to it than that. Not only are these rocks a source of life, we found that the oldest ones remember things. They're recording everything, all the time, taking it all in. No wonder all those beasts were drawn to the quarry. The rocks were calling them. Keeping the quarry free from pests turned out to be a problem. Rattletails kept tunneling in to snack on windbags. Without those windbags, the quarry might not have its special qualities. Even stink eyes started taking root here. would the Ura sell off such a fascinating place? The Ura always were a superstitious lot. Might be the gods told him the quarry's bad news. In any case, it's fair to say the quarry was a godsend. Those rocks, all polished to a mirror sheen. The largest ones, you know as cores. A single core could keep the lights on in an entire city district. The smaller ones, we call them shards. Shards got a fraction of Core's power, enough to fuel a voyage to the motherland. Well, now the quarry's all dried up. These rocks are much too young to be of use. Remember how I said rattletails ain't the worst thing in the quarry? That honor goes to a beast we took to Colin, Sir Lunky. Massive things stomped many of our boys. We just couldn't get rid of him. We never could get stubborn old Lunky to leave the quarry alone. The only thing harder than the rocks in Burstone Quarry is Sir Lunky's head. Then the kid hears a voice calling from down the hall. Are you alright? It says. It's him. I've come to warn you, he says. The Bastion is under siege. Let it fall. You should not go back. Kid hears him, but he ain't about to be deterred. If that's the way it is, he says, then I won't stop you. Because my countrymen will. The next part's hard to talk about, no matter how many times I try. Say what you will about Zulf, but he's a man of his word. His countrymen don't much care for pleasantries, though. Zulf showed him the way here, and here they came to take revenge. They got inside the Bastion and shut the door. Kid's gotta go in through the back. To make matters worse, seems the Ura took the girl. Unfortunately, they broke in, and they started digging their hole. Something wrong sprung out of those holes, and it's eating away at this place. We tried to stop it, but we needed help. Our little squirt, he don't make it. Our baby pecker, he don't make it. No way out of this, not without a fight. Somehow, some way, he sends those Ura packing. Problem is, it didn't matter. Zolf's plan worked. We find each other as the dust settles. Then I tell him why the Ura came. To get us back for the calamity. It was Ceylandia's master plan to wipe the Ura out. But part of that plan backfired, didn't it? If only Zolf knew the whole story. What were we to think? They must have got her, taken her back to her rightful home. The shards can put this disease in remission, but there's only one cure. We need to finish what we started. The memorial may be finished, but our part is far from over. The sanctuary. If we can build, we can rebuild. Bold brandy is thicker than paint. Makes your skin feel as tough as knife bark. The Ura swooped down from the east. At least now we know the way. Brazendra Gate used to lead down to the terminals. Now it leads up to the stars. One last shard. It's all we need to put this mess behind us. And mother, what a mess it is. A mess like that could have only been made by hand. Zolf said the calamity failed, and he's right. The Ura stand as living proof of that. At the heart of the calamity was a simple idea. We never wanted to go to war again. Wanted to rule it out. We put a lot of folks against that problem. Scientists, soldiers, spies, even me. Sought solutions far beyond the city. Traveled near as far as the kid's going right now. their fruit. Then there was a breakthrough, but it didn't come from one of our people. It came from an Ura, a brilliant young scientist named Ven.
It's always the brilliant young scientist.
Ven worked for the Mancers, the sharpest knives in the city's drawer. With his help, the Mancers devised a way to seal the Ura tunnels shut in a flash. Just like that, every last Ura living in the Tassel terminals will be gone. This discovery was never to be used, they said, except as a last resort. But Ven didn't like being manipulated. He had plans of his own. He sabotaged the Mancers' little science project, set it to blow up in their faces. Imagine how Ven must have felt when they finally made him pull that trigger. But remember, the Bastion can fix everything. We just need that shard. Too bad the Ura ain't exactly been willing to collaborate on that front. It's strange. Feels like I told this part 1,000 times. First things first, though. There's someone we figured needed rescuing. See ya. The Ura fell back, no doubt planning the next move, but we knew ours already. There's something we had to do before going after that last shard.
Oh, I should probably hit.
Well, now it's personal, ain't it? It's personal for him, and it's personal for me. We get straight down to business. They never saw him coming. He gets his hands on the care package I sent him. The Hura found a way to keep the calamity from spreading through Sultan's Hollow. They got their own security and everything. Pretty fancy. They've got these conductors that are all what's keeping the place together. Break enough of those things and the calamity rocks slink back into the ground. Those rocks are like tumors, the same kind the Hura planted in the Bastion. Well, the Hura must be in a panic right about now. They even sick their little rattletail pets on the kid. Those rodents are just a bump in the road. Kids picking the whole place apart, piece by piece. By now, every Hura from here to the terminals must know he's in town. Most of the Hura's conductors are squared away in the middle of the hollow. They're easy targets. Those calamity rocks must be eating that place apart from the inside. The Hura keep hanging on to that barricade. After all, their homeland's not much farther. underestimated us. Had us pegged all wrong. Some of them are downright bewildered by what's happening. Yes, our people caused the calamity, but here we are trying to fix it. Did the Ura really think we just turn around and walk away? Shame the opportunity for civilized discourse is over. Suppose old Zolf should have got to know us better. Maybe I should have trusted him. Told him everything I knew. Zolf, the Ura, they have every reason to be angry. Beyond angry. But when this is all over, it'll all be water under the bridge. As the hour grows desperate, the Ura bring out their big guns. Too bad for them, our guns are bigger still. There's nothing standing in his way no more. He sees the Tazzle terminals loom large on the horizon. Way out there on the edge of the world, that's where he finally finds you. But it ain't like Prosper Bluff this time. Ain't nothing for this gal to sing about now. Zia, you weren't kidnapped. No, ma'am. You just had to see what happened to the Ura. To your own people. You had to see if everything Zolf wrote to you was true. Sure you didn't drop that twangy thing on purpose? Just to see if he'd go after you? They lost everything, didn't they? But they just keep on fighting like that's gonna bring it all back. I don't need to see what happened to the Ura. I'm trying to undo it, remember? Once the kid gets that last shard from Zolf, it'll all be over.
Okay, so...
Zoltan's Hollow is the Ura's border blockade. At least it used to be.
So, I guess let's try this.
The Tazzle terminals, all that's left of the Ura's civilization, and the last stop on his little journey.
So we'll try this. I'm going to. I've never left Zolf. I've always just. I've always.
I can't hear him at all anymore. He's too far away.
If Missy would have what happened,
But he'll be alright. Just needs to get that shard from Zolf and come on home. The calamity hit the Tazzle terminals hardest of all. You know why Zolf went back there. The place was his home. All his old friends and family were there. Taken by the calamity. Zolf must be there all alone, just waiting. You know what's funny? Well, all of us are waiting. Poor kid. Look around. There's not much left to do here in the Bastion, I'm afraid. So why not tell each other stories to pass the time, right? But Zia, there's another reason I've been telling you all this. There's something I want you to understand. When the kid brings back that shard, the Bastion will be complete. This disease the earth planted here will go away. What happens to Zolf will no longer matter. Zealandia will be whole again. Everything will be back to normal.
We've got this back. So
Everyone will be alright.
once or twice. And if it's
Problem is,
I'll do. Because I don't really
we'll all be gone.
anymore, so.
not gonna die. It's more like all of this will just stop. Things will go back to the way they used to be. That's the power of the Bastion. This whole place is a living record of the times before the calamity. The way things were before this story. You follow me? Self again. Think of all those times I didn't go your way. Setbacks. Imagine if you could have another go at him. No mistakes. Anyone you've ever heard. Everything you've ever done, you could do it over. Wouldn't that be grand? Wouldn't you agree? I guess there's nothing more to say. Barazim. Who am I kidding? Look. There's something else. A confession. How come I know so much about the Bastion? Well, I designed the place. But that's beside the point. There's one problem with a place that sets things back to a bygone time. You can't test it. So you're probably wondering if the calamity happened already. What's to stop it from happening again after the Bastion does its thing? The answer is, I don't know. You're wondering if there ain't some other way out of this mess. It's all right. I can tell. But why would you even want another way? Unless Unless you wanted to stay here with us. Well, that's sweet and all, but I don't know if I can stick around. The weight of the calamity, it's on our shoulders. We can't just let it go. Bastion does have another function, strictly speaking. If ever the monument blew out and we couldn't repair it, we could still evacuate. First, we'd round up as many folks as we could carry. Next, we'd detonate the cores and we'd take off away from here. Heavy, ain't it? Of course, that would mean no going back. Ever. But then again, that way all of us could leave the city. Together.
Setting up this big old choice at the end here, Rex.
You know Zolf and his countrymen won't be giving up that shard without a fight, don't you? Zolf and the Ura, all they want now is to see the Bastion fall. Zolf dedicated his life to a lasting peace between the Ura and Zealandia. Zolf ain't lost every shred of decency though, has he? He tried to warn you about his plans. He tried to warn the kid. For Zolf, this ain't a personal matter. It ain't a simple matter of pride either. the kid followed Zolf all the way home.
So I've never, ever moved on. I've only ever taken Zolf. So we'll move on.
Kid saved Zolf once, but I don't think he'd make the same mistake. I wouldn't. Don't you worry, though. Once the Bastion's restored, it'll all be alright. Although, after talking it over like this, guess I'm beginning to have my doubts. Kid's probably dealt with Zolf by now. He reminds me of myself when I was his age. I ever tell you about those days?
I thought it was going to be. Yeah, I've never done it that way, and that's not as brutal as I thought it was going to be. Especially not with the idols on.
Hey, kid. Get up, kid. Come on, that ain't funny. I say get up.
Rex knows that, like, I've got dropped this guy.
That's more like it. Now, set that shard into the monument there. Then we'll talk. The Bastion. It's finally finished. Now, there's something I want you to see. Welcome to the heart of the Bastion. I ain't one for long goodbyes, so here's the deal. Zia and I figure you done the heavy lifting, so you get to do the honors. We can tell you how to work this thing if you got any questions.
So this one, I usually go with Zia's ending.
You made it. So, let's see. You can either prevent the calamity, or stick around with me and Rex. I'd hate to be in your shoes. If I could be any place I wanted, I'd stay right here. We could go anywhere in the world. Zolf tried to talk me into joining him. I tried to talk him out of it. I guess we both failed. When I finally found my people, I told them we could help. They just took me for a traitor. Glad you showed up. Any moment I'd want to live again happened after the calamity, not before.
So almost always, I choose this one. I haven't done the
Good to see you.
ascending in this playthrough. Or in this
You can undo the calamity here and now. Go on, kid. And before I forget, thank you. Always wondered what the motherland was like. Not that it matters anymore. Zolf only brought more ruin to the Ura. No wonder they didn't take kindly to him. You've got one thing left to do, so you hang on to that badge. Besides, you earned it. Don't let anything you've done get to you. You can save all those creatures here and now. It's finished. Now, sit tight. It'll be over soon. No matter what happens next, you're done good. I suppose all that's left is to try and remember this moment. The Bastion's gonna take us back to a better time before any of this. Maybe we'll forget everything you've done and each other. Though after all we've been through, I find that hard to believe. So long, kid. Maybe I'll see you in the next one. Zealandia, we're coming home.
I set my sail, fly the wind it will take me back to my home, sweet home. Lie on my back, cloud to make it wait for me. I'm coming
Alrighty, so that's Bastion, one of my favorites. Don't usually do some of that stuff that